Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, I finally got back in the water after my bout with COVID, high surf, and I got this last night. We were frying up some chicken on the grill, and I spilled some hot oil on my finger and burned it up pretty good. It was pretty sore, so I was really worried about how it would act in the salt water, and I was worried about it being a little bit too painful and distracting. But what the heck? I needed to get back in the water. This was my first dive. I went out the other day and I was pretty nervous because I still feel tightness in my chest, so I was really worried about breathing. So I swam out. I went to a little different spot and I'm about to make my first drop, which was my warm up drop. So I'm in real shallow water right here. I drop down, go behind the rocks, and look at this pile over on my left. You can see a small munu there, some king cole yellow tangs. You can see how shallow it is. You can see the waves breaking there. The surge is kind of kicking me around a little bit. It wasn't very rough today, but when you're this shallow, the surge kind of just pushes you. And I saw this big king cole in the back. So I aimed and took a shot and I hit it perfect. Normally, I don't take a shot this early in the dive unless I just want to get in and out of the water and get something for dinner. So I hit it exactly where I wanted and I was able to land my first fish in a long time. And I really like the king cole. We make, as you know, we make fish nuggets, we make sashimi, we make poke, and it's a pretty good fish for me because I can get them without in the shallow water, and they're pretty decent size, and it's good for dinner. So I dispatched the fish here, and I'm literally only like less than 5 minutes into the dive. It took me longer to warm up than get my first fish. So I decided to just swim around, put the fish on the line. I swam out to deeper water and I found this sand pocket. And I thought, well, let's see how my chest holds up if I dive a little bit deeper. So I made a drop. And I was debating as to whether to shoot. I had the bands on my gun, but I was more concerned about getting some downtime. So I made the drop here, and I was trying to hide behind that rock over there. And I'm looking for a handhold, and I'm going to grab this rock right on my left there. So I'm looking out into the sand pocket. The fish are across the sand on the other side. Too far to shoot, but I'm just kind of looking, and there's some big pualus and some kalas back there, and I could feel my chest really tightening up, especially at a little bit deeper water. So I didn't want to take any chances, so I just resurfaced. I swam out a little bit further and I found another big umumule school. All those fish down there are umumule. There must be 100, 200 of them. It's so beautiful. It's nice to see them. There are a number of these schools along this area, and they come out at certain times of the year, and they're all about the same size. So they're all juveniles. So all you divers, just take maybe one, and they're kind of small. If you want bigger ones, just shoot outside the school. So I just made the drop, got my handhold. I had no intention of shooting, and I wanted to see what happened. So as soon as I stopped moving, they just started coming closer and closer and closer. I mean, they were literally right up to my mask. If you notice, I retracted my gun to see how close they would get. It's pretty cool to see this type of life in the water. One thing I noticed about this dive was I felt better breathing through the snorkel than I do normally walking on the ground. And I think that's because, I'm having a hard time getting oxygen from the COVID. So breathing through my mouth all the time, it makes me feel a lot better. So I actually felt better diving, and I wasn't even cold. So I made this drop here because I saw some flashing in the distance, and so I thought it was bait fish. So I was just kind of cruising, and you can see them right there, coming up. They're feeding. So I was just hovering and let them swim around me, and I was hoping, big fish, please come in. Big fish, please come in. So I was a little ready to shoot, and nothing. So I just watched them swim by, went to the surface, get my breath, and worked my way back in. I made one final drop, and I don't know why, because I was getting a little tired, but I felt it's been so long since I've been in the water, might as well get one more in before I get out of the water. So I made this drop in the shallows, looking for a handhold, looking right off this ledge out into this little pocket, and you can see a bunch of fish, another small munu, the king coles, yellow tangs, some ninuis in the distance, and it was so nice to get back in the water. I was really grateful that I was able to dive. The interesting thing was when I got out of the water, I just fell over. I was so disoriented because from not diving in a while, I cut my leg up pretty bad, but it was still a great day. I hope I can get back in shape pretty soon. I'm going to keep training, going to keep diving. Hope for the best. Thanks for watching, and aloha.